world ruled by corruption, a single bank heist becomes the spark for a war against a ruthless criminal empire inside the prison.
There are 3 reasons.
The movie begins with a police officer named Green, who is tasked with delivering money to Balam, a high-profile prisoner. Despite being in prison, Balam enjoys luxurious privileges, including personal guards. Balam is a drug lord who continues to manage his illegal businesses, even from within the prison. He chooses to stay incarcerated as it provides him protection from his enemies, especially after a bounty of $1 million is placed on his head. New prisoners arrive at the facility and are sent to their cells. Among them is Jack Stone, who ended up in prison for robbing a bank and killing a police officer, who happened to be Officer Green's colleague. Enraged, Green punches Jack and taunts him that he won't survive long in prison.
And there's you.
1 week earlier, Jack and 2 accomplices robbed a bank to gather evidence of corruption and oppression by government officials and police officers connected to Balam. After securing the money and information, Jack tried to escape. However, police surrounded him and killed his 2 partners. Jack managed to incapacitate several officers and escape to a nearby building. As he tried to flee, Jack encountered another officer who threatened him.
Hands up!
Without hesitation, Jack pushed the officer off a ledge, killing him. Jack later delivered the stolen evidence to a reporter named Trisha, asking her to investigate and expose the corruption to the prosecutor's office. Back in prison, during lunch, Semyon, Balam's cousin, tries to extort security money from a new inmate. When the man refuses, Semyon beats him. He then targets Jack, but Jack fights back, overpowering him and his men. Guards put Semyon and his group in solitary confinement, while Jack continues his meal. Later, guards take Jack to a room where he interacts with Balam via CCTV. Balam warns Jack not to interfere with his operations and mocks him about his late wife's murder, which Balam and his men orchestrated. Meanwhile, Trisha investigates the evidence she received from Jack. The next day, she tries to meet the prosecutor to report the corruption, but is asked to leave the documents with the prosecutor's assistant, Mark. Distrusting Mark, Trisha decides to wait and meet the prosecutor in person. Later, she visits Jack in prison, informing him of her investigation. Jack advises her to be cautious and use the information wisely. In prison, Jack remembers the happy times with his late wife. Another prisoner, William, warns Jack to be more cautious after his clash with Semyon. Jack, however, is unfazed and asks about Balam's cell location. William informs him that the cell's location is a well-guarded secret, unknown even to many guards. The story shifts to a women's prison, where 2 female inmates are caught fighting. Guards intervene and take one of them, Elena, to a separate area with her head covered. Elena is brought before Balam because she had attacked one of Balam's favorite female accomplices. Balam announces a contest with a reward of $100,000 for anyone who can kill Jack Stone and bring his head to him. Upon hearing about this, William warns Jack, but prisoners immediately begin targeting Jack to win the reward. With William's help, Jack fights off multiple attackers and defeats them all.
Who are you?
As they talk together, Jack figures out that William is not a regular prisoner, but an undercover FBI agent. William admits that he's been infiltrating the prison for 6 months to gather evidence against Balam and corrupt officials. He also reveals that Elena is his partner. Before they can proceed further, other prisoners attack Jack and William. Jack is sent to solitary confinement for causing a disturbance, while William is summoned to Warden Blaine's office. The warden demands bribes from William, warning that without payment, he cannot guarantee William's safety after the recent clashes with Balam's men. Meanwhile, Trisha tries to meet District Attorney Johnson again, but is blocked by his assistant, Mark, who suggests she hand the evidence over to the FBI instead. In prison, Balam's daughter visits him, and after her visit, Balam is escorted back to his cell. Taking advantage of this, William signals Elena to start their mission. Elena pretends to be unconscious, and when taken away by a guard, she and William overpower the warden.
You okay?
Elena sneaks into the CCTV room while William heads to the control room, disguised as a guard. Through the CCTV feed, Elena discovers that Balam is about to return to his cell. Acting quickly, William unlocks Jack's solitary confinement cell and frees him. After incapacitating a guard, William informs Jack that he and Elena are helping him reach Balam. Jack disguises himself as a guard and follows William and Elena's directions. Meanwhile, Warden Blaine discovers the break-in at the CCTV room and sends guards to intervene. Elena escapes through the air ducts, but with limited time, William opens all the prison doors, creating chaos. The prisoners riot, attacking guards and each other. In the commotion, Jack confronts Officer Green and pushes him into a group of inmates who beat him severely. Meanwhile, outside the prison, Trisha faces danger as Allison, who is secretly working with the corrupt prosecutor, attempts to kill her to destroy the evidence. Just as Allison is about to succeed, an FBI agent intervenes and saves Trisha. This agent is revealed to be Mark, who had been posing as the prosecutor's assistant to expose District Attorney Johnson's corruption. Back inside the prison, William fights off Warden Blaine and other guards. Jack finally reaches Balam, and the two engage in a fierce hand-to-hand battle. Balam initially gains the upper hand, leaving Jack momentarily helpless. However, Jack remembers his late wife, which reignites his determination. With renewed strength, Jack defeats Balam and avenges his wife's murder. Shortly after, a SWAT team arrives at the prison to regain control of the situation. They secure the facility, arresting Balam's remaining allies. William meets Jack and introduces Elena to him, expressing gratitude for his help in dismantling Balam's operations both inside and outside the prison. Jack also thanks William and Elena for their support in avenging his wife. In the aftermath, the FBI arrests all corrupt officials and police officers connected to Balam. Jack, who had been acting as a vigilante to expose the corruption, is recognized for his efforts. William informs Jack that he will be recruited as an FBI agent and become William's partner.